guys and gals, and everybody here from Drake Wing Game, and a suddenly down toward the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Sileo, Tai's Path. So y'all, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now up for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming not safe for work videos. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alrighty. Big talk. It seemed as though a breeze from the outside was passing through, keeping the office fresh and cool. I was sure the rattling would get on my nerves, but otherwise I found myself quite fond of the environment. Got a nice office, Tai. Tai beamed happily as he took his seat opposite mine and rolling his chair inward before responding. I'm glad you think so. A friend of mine thinks otherwise, instead preferring more old-fashioned design sensibilities. Excuse me, it is nice to have someone whose opinion carries such weight agreeing with me. But discussion of such topics can wait for another time. I am sure you'd rather get to the matter at hand, yes? I wasn't so sure. I was still nervous, but Diego had been right. I had to put myself out of my misery, for better or worse. I sighed before delivering my response. Yeah, so, I have been thinking long and hard about everything that has transpired, and I know that first and foremost I owe you a big apology. My heart sank as my mind jumped to conclusions. An apology? Did this mean he didn't want to continue? Was I about to be dumped once and for all? I know I said so a couple of days back, but I feel the need to reiterate. I had a lot on my mind, a lot of stress, a lot of confusion. Just a lot of things were still and are happening. I leapt into, well, us, with the best possible intentions, but I quickly found myself to be rather overwhelmed. For that, I apologize profusely. It is nothing you did, nor had any control over. That I can assure you. The burden of that lies entirely on my own shoulders, and I am so very, very sorry for having caused you such heartache. You do not deserve any of this. I let you down. I didn't know what to say or how to respond. Instead, I elected to allow Tai to finish what he was saying in the hope that I'd have a response prepared by his conclusion. And, well, it's just like I said. I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right thing, for the sake of everybody. And I want you to know that if you cannot forgive me for what I have done, I understand. I will take the consequences of my actions on the chin, and I will have only reaped that which I have sown. However, I have given us much thought, and I cannot allow my struggles, my emotions, and my fears to compromise either of our opportunities in finding happiness. As such, I humbly beg of you. Are you able to find it in your heart to forgive this foolish tiger? May I be permitted an opportunity to make things right? Tai smiled, the beginnings of tears forming in his eyes. His lips quivered ever so slightly as he patiently awaited the answer. Did he really want me back? After all the things he said when... No. He never said those things. Those were my fears, my insecurities, my doubts alone. The Tai I'd witnessed in that nightmare was the furthest thing from reality, yet I nonetheless bore those wounds. I needed to know how Tai truly felt before I could give him my answer. Tai? Yes, Hunter. Why? Why? I do not understand. Why me, of all people? Someone who has nothing to call his own, no house, no car, no belongings or assets. All my income comes from you and Lucas, and if it weren't for your recommendation, I doubt Lucas would have even hired me in the first place. No. And look at you! You're such an incredibly attractive guy! You're stunning! I don't hold a candle to you, your looks, your body, anything, and I'm so much younger and more inexperienced than you. Hunter, I don't understand. Why me? Why not someone so much better? You're so far out of my league, I don't even come close to deserving you. Tai stood up from his chair, moving into position next to me. I stood up to meet his gaze, our noses only inches from one another. Then Tai pulled me into his warm embrace. Oh? Hello, thumbnail. Hunter, why do you say such awful things? Because they're true, aren't they? I don't understand what you see in me. I don't understand why. Tai held me tighter than before, as what little composure I had left escaped me. I began sobbing uncontrollably into his shoulder as I felt his tears run down the fur atop my head. Hunter, in the short time we have known one another, you have been quite easily one of the sweetest, kindest, most charming young men I have ever met. I delight in your presence and adore your personality and sense of humor. You have a flawless body. Just because ours differ is simply not an indication of inferiority. Quite on the contrary. There's nothing more attractive to me than a smaller, well-defined frame such as yours. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I didn't believe what I was hearing. Surely Tai was just buttering me up, saying whatever he needed to say in an attempt to dry my tear-filled eyes. What kind of man would I be if I cared about your wealth and status? Sure, they are nice things to have, but if you choose your potential partners using such a metric, you will only doom yourself to an unhappy and lonely existence. As for your age, come now. To find someone of your age as handsome and charming as you are, with whom I feel such an affinity towards, it is akin to having won the lottery. I struggled to speak, between my unrestrained sobs as Tai gently petted the back of my head. My tail swished uncontrollably from side to side. Shut up! You're just saying that! On the contrary, while it may seem I am in the business of flattery at times, I can promise you that I have not exaggerated one iota. My opinion of you simply could not be any higher. To me and my own preferences, you simply could not be any more perfect. I chuckled through my tears. I still didn't rightly know if I could trust his word, but he was at the very least doing a terrific job of being a shameless flirt. After all, he wanted me back. I apologize. I have no shortage of fanciful words, and yet I feel as if those words are failing to connect with my true feelings. I only hope that you know I have nothing but the utmost adoration and respect for you. A disappointed sigh escaped Ty's lips as he shook his head, dissatisfied with his perception of how he had handled the situation thus far. Seeming perhaps somewhat defeated, his next words betrayed more than a hint of fear and doubt. It is like I said, then. If you need time to process everything, I understand. And if after everything you do not wish to proceed, that too I understand. But... Oh... I delivered my response by way of the boldest and most unambiguous gesture I could muster, pulling Tai into a deep, loving, and passionate kiss. At first this caught him off guard, but before long he had returned my gesture with comparable loving passion to my own. We remained locked in that kiss for an eternity, our bodies pressed together as I could feel Ty's heartbeat in his chest. My confidence bolstered, I boldly slipped my tongue into his mouth, which was a gesture he almost immediately reciprocated. As I leaned into his body, Ty's weight shifted backwards so that he was seated atop his desk, a messy pile of papers crushed beneath his considerable glutes. As we continued our show of passion, my hands began to wander, working their way up and down Ty's side. Incidentally, his own hands followed suit, exploring my chest and back before eventually coming to a rest with his hands rested atop my backside. Finally, the two of us separated, our eyes locked as we moved apart with a happy, loving smile worn on each of our faces. Oh, Hunter, you had me so worried. I feared you would never take me back, that I had blown my chances. Speak for yourself. I fully expected you to call things off today. I'm so very, very sorry for everything I've put you through. I know I can never begin to make that up to you. You can make it up to me by never pulling another stunt like that again. Of course. You have my word. That said, I still feel as though some additional repayment is in order. Oh, you don't have to... how do you feel about camping? Camping? Under the stars out in the wilderness with Tai? It sounded like a proposal I could easily get behind. I like the idea. Very good. I will supply everything we require. You need only bring your perfect self. Do you have any friends you would like to bring along? I had initially pictured some kind of romantic getaway, and his suggestion of bringing company seemingly skewered that idea. Indeed, I hope that is not to your disappointment. I simply wish to be cautious, you see. I would not want to take things too quickly and risk blowing the second chance that I am so lucky to have been given. Yeah, I understand. I'll ask around. Terrific. I'm looking forward to it most enthusiastically. I was a little disappointed, but I suppose that Tai had a point. Things had moved fast, and I didn't know whether this had any bearing on what had happened. I would just have to trust Tai on this one. Anyway, I trust we have addressed everything that needs addressing. Yeah, I think so. Very good. Then we should both return to our duties. These soups I have been preparing will not cook themselves. Okay, I'll head back out. You know where to find me if you need me. Of course. Should I need to bask in the majesty of such a flawless visage, I may just indulge myself in a peek through the serving window. I chuckled and smiled at Tai, who returned a similar yet cheeky grin. I then turned away and departed his office in the kitchen, returning to the bar. Upon returning to the bar, Diego was nowhere to be seen. Thankfully, there was nobody waiting for service, and nobody robbing the register. I craned my neck, hoping to catch sight of wherever he may be before the bell in the entrance caught my attention as a certain dingo briskly scuttled in, joining me behind the counter as he did his utmost to seem inconspicuous. I can tell right away that you were up to something shady. Where were you exactly? Oh, bathroom emergency, you know how it is. Outside? We have toilets in the barn. I enjoy the breeze on my junk. Makes me feel alive. Diego was covering for his bad behavior, desperately working to avoid admitting details of his misdemeanor. I racked my brain thinking of what he might have done and how. And then it clicked, recalling the breeze traveling through the vent in Ty's office. There was no doubt that the vent had an external outlet somewhere close by. You were listening in on us! What? That's crazy talk. I would never do such a thing. Diego, come on, the jig is up. It's obvious what you were doing. How dare you accuse me of something like that? I will have you know that Diego, seriously, you were listening to us through the air vents. I swear I was just being nosy. No, I wanted to make sure everything was okay, you know? Just make sure it wasn't going badly, so, I could be there for you and all that. I would have told you as soon as I'd gotten back, you know. Yeah, but this way I was prepared ahead of time. Well, I suppose you know we're back on, then. Yep, congratulations, dude. I'm happy for you. Thanks, Diego. And, hell, it seems like he really thinks highly of you. Said some real nice things. Yeah, he did. Not sure if I believe them, but it was really sweet of him all the same. Man, he sure has a way with words. With skills like that, I bet he could float your pants off in 3 seconds. 3 seconds flat. Hey! Eventually, mid-evening had rolled around. Diego and I still had a couple of hours left on our respective shifts. It seemed like Ty was calling it quits for the day. And gentlemen, I hope things haven't been too busy for you both. You kidding? It's been a slow night, a real ghost town. I see. Well, enjoy the opportunity to relax. I'm afraid that I must be on my way. I have some other commitments to attend to this evening. Oh? What have you got on exactly? Clothing, it would seem. Perhaps more than that would be to your preference. Oof. Okay, Dad. I shared Diego's expression of dismay in response to Ty's awful joke, but nonetheless opted to repeat my question, phrased a degree more carefully this time around. I mean, what are you doing exactly? Diego unleashed a violent snort before leaning in close and whispering into my ear. You, by the sounds of things. Diego, I'm gonna take my sock off and smack you with it. My God, Diego, shut up! I gave Diego a firm shove, sending him careening backward as he desperately struggled to maintain his balance. Ty appeared confused, Diego's words having been too quiet for him to have heard. Is there something I have missed? Diego's just being a dick, don't worry about it. Ah, well, Lucas and I are meeting up to shake off the cobwebs, as it were. You know, to see if we still have got it, to see if we have still got it. As for whether it will be fun, I sure hope that it will be. Sounds saucy. And naturally, I am speaking of our musical endeavors. Nothing like what it would seem you have in mind. Hey, what? You're getting the band back together after all? No, we are simply exploring the idea right now. I know not what will transpire. Dude, no fair. I want to come and watch. Me too. Please, gentlemen, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but it is only a rough jam session, nothing more. Besides, I'm afraid you are needed here while the bar remains open. Come on, dude, it's such a quiet night. Surely one of us can go, right? Are you suggesting that I bring you along and leave poor Hunter here to cover for you? Shit. Nah, you two are like literal bum buddies or whatever. It wouldn't be right if I went. Excuse me? I would really like to come along if that's okay, Ty. Ty turned to me, scratching his chin while deep in thought before finally delivering his verdict. Oh, very well then, but no funny business, okay, Diego? This will be your first time closing up solo. I'm counting on you to take care of the place. Alright, I'm going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Amr. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier anyway. If y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access for not safe for work content as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!